Dear students, welcome to GRM Toppers classes. Hyderabad. And dear students, in this session, let us discuss part 2 of G Advanced 2020 paper 1. And friends, in the previous session, we have completed part 1 of G Advanced 2020 paper 1, dealing with the questions of section 1. And now let us discuss questions of section 2 of paper 1. And dear children, let us see this section 2 also given for 6 questions, and in this section every question has 4 options, but one or more than one options are correct for this question, and we have to answer all the correct options of this question. Now dear friends, let us see this first question of section 2 given as question number 7. And here the 7th question is, let the function f r be defined as f of x equal to x cube minus x square plus x minus 1 of sin x, and g r be given as an arbitrary function. Let f g r be the product of function defined by f of g, f g of x equal to f of x into g of x. Then which of the following statements is true? And here given options are, if g is continuous at x equal to 1, then fg is differentiable at x equal to 1. If fg is differentiable at x equal to 1, then g is continuous at x equal to 1. Means option B is the converse of option A, none. And option C is given as, if g is differentiable at x equal to 1, then fg is differentiable at x equal to 1. Here A and B are regarding continuity of g, but here C and D are regarding continuity, differentiability of g, none. And friends, here option C given as, if C is differentiable, G is differentiable at x equal to 1, then fg is differentiable at x equal to 1. Whereas option D, which is converse of C, if fg is differentiable at x equal to 1, then g is differentiable at x equal to 1. And these options have to be answered for this question number 7. Okay. Now let us see this f of x given as x cube minus x square plus x minus 1 sin x can be written as x minus 1 of x square plus sin x. Taking x square common here, x square of x minus 1, and taking x minus 1 common, this is x minus 1 of x square plus sin x. Then what is f of 1? It will be 0 because x minus 1 is 0, and limit x tends to 1, f of x, because it is very clear to define for every real value of x. Limit x tends to 1, f of x is also 0. Therefore, f is continuous at x equal to 1. F is continuous at x equal to 1. And because f of 1 is 0, fg of 1 will be also 0, where g of x is an arbitrary function. Then fg of 1 is what? F of 1 into g of 1. And because f of 1 is 0, whatever g of 1 will be 0. And then let us see what is fg dash 1, derivative of fg at x equal to 1, fg dash 1. So how we will define fg of 1, fg dash 1? For every function, the derivative of the function at x equal to a generally can be taken as limit x tends to a, f of x minus f of a by x minus e in general. But here fg dash 1 can be taken as fg dash 1, limit x tends to 1, fg of x minus fg of 1. But fg of 1 is 0. Hence, fg of x only will be taken in the numerator, divided by x minus 1. Now that is equal to f of x into g of x, where f of x is x minus 1 into x square plus sin x, into g of x by x minus 1. Now here x minus 1 will be cancelled, resulting limit x tends to 1, x square plus sin x into g of x. Now that is equal to 1 plus sin 1 by substituting x equal to 1 here, and limit x tends to 1, g of x. By substituting x equal to 1, this is 1 plus sin 1, and limit x tends to 1, g of x remains. If g of x is continuous at x equal to 1, then limit x tends to 1, g of x will exist. When limit x tends to 1, g of x exists, fg dash 1 also will exist. Therefore, if g of x is continuous at x equal to 1, then fg dash 1 will exist. Hence, fg will be differentiable at x equal to 1. Whenever limit x fg dash 1 exists, we will say that f into g is differentiable at x equal to 1. Hence, option A is true, as g of x is continuous, then fg dash x will be differentiable at x equal to 1. And when fg is differentiable, when it is differentiable, there will be a question for existence of this one. There will be a question for existence of fg dash 1, which is 1 plus sin 1 of limit x tends to 1, g of x. But here, even though limit x tends to 1, g of x exists, that left limit as x tends to 1 and right limit as x tends to 1 may be equal, but g of 1 may not be equal to that. Hence, we are not sure that g of x is continuous at x equal to 1. We are not sure that g of x is continuous at x equal to 1. Therefore, even when f into g of x is differentiable at x equal to 1, then limit x tends to 1, g of x will exist, but we can't say it is continuous at x equal to 1. Even though existing both left and right limit being equal may not be equal to the functional value g of 1. Hence, it is not sure that g of x is continuous at x equal to 1. Therefore, it is not sure that differentiable at x equal to 1. Hence, both option C and D, which are the converse of option A and B. So, B is the converse of option A, D is the converse of option C. Hence, converses may not be equal. Hence, option C is true but not D. Also the right answer. Okay. Now, let us go for next question. Eighth one given on matrices and determinants. Okay friends, now let us see this question number 8, given as, let M be a 3 by 3 invertible matrix with the real entries, and I denote 3 by 3 identity matrix if M inverse is adjoint of adjoint M, then which of the following statements is oblique R always true? Yeah. So this is one good question of matrices. Now let us see the given options are A, M equal to I, B, det M equal to I, sorry, det M equal to 1, C, M square equal to I, and D, adjoint M whole square equal to I. Okay. So this is of course even one simple question also. Dear friends, given that M's inverse is adjoint of adjoint M, M inverse is adjoint of adjoint M. Now let us go for determinant on both sides. When two matrices A and B are equal, then det A equal to det B. So that determinant of M inverse equal to adjoint of adjoint M, determinant of adjoint M. Right. But what is the formula for determinant of adjoint M? Det M power n minus 1 whole square, where n is the order of the square matrix M. But here it is of third order, 3 by 3. So this is equal to det M power 2 square, which is 4. And for any square matrix, determinant of M inverse is 1 by det M equal to det M power 4, implies det M power equal to det M power 5 equal to 1. When det M power 5 is 1, it is sure that det M equal to 1. So when det M equal to 1, we know one identity, that M into adjoint M equal to adjoint M into M equal to det M into I. So because det M is 1, M into adjoint M equal to I only. Then take adjoint on both sides. Adjoint of M of adjoint M is adjoint of I. Adjoint of I is I only. But what is adjoint of AB in general? Adjoint of AB is adjoint B into adjoint U. So that it is adjoint of adjoint M into adjoint M equal to I. Now adjoint of adjoint M given as M inverse, no? Here it is given adjoint of adjoint M is M inverse. So now it can be taken as M inverse of adjoint M equal to I, and multiplying by M on both sides. Adjoint M is equal to M. Adjoint M equal to M. Again multiply by M on both sides. M into adjoint M equal to M square. But what is M into adjoint M? Just now we have taken here M into adjoint M equal to I only. M into adjoint M is just I. Actually it is that M into I. Because that M is 1, it is I. So that M square equal to I. M square equal to I. Because M into adjoint M is I. So that M square equal to I. So option C is correct. But what is M? M is equal to adjoint M. Hence adjoint M square is also I. Option D is also correct. Therefore, M square equal to I, and adjoint M square is also I, because M equal to adjoint M. So this is one simple question on matrices and determinants. And this is the solution, where det M equal to 1 is true, M square equal to I is true, and adjoint M whole square equal to I is also true. Now let us go for question number 9. And this is the question given on complex numbers. Also one simple question of this paper. And see, this question number 9 is given as, let S be the set of all complex numbers Z satisfying modulus of Z square plus Z plus 1 equal to 1. Then which one of the following statements is true? Is the question here. And given options are modulus of Z plus 1 by 2 less than or equal to 1 by 2 for all Z belongs to S. Mod Z is less than or equal to 2 for all Z belongs to S. And modulus of Z plus 1 by 2 is greater than or equal to 1 by 2 for all Z belongs to S. And set S has exactly 4 elements. These are the 4 options. And dear students, always we have to attempt the question according to the given options. Therefore, I feel that looking at the options is very, very important attempting one question. Hence, you please look at the options and think about the solution. Okay, now as we know one simple identity, very popular identity on complex numbers is modulus of mod Z1 minus mod Z2 is less than or equal to mod of Z1 plus Z2 is less than or equal to mod Z1 plus mod Z2. Okay, let us focus on this one. Okay, let us focus on this one. Yeah, this is the identity. Modulus of mod Z1 minus mod Z2 less than or equal to mod of Z1 plus Z2 is less than or equal to mod Z1 plus mod Z2 is one well-known familiar identity. Therefore, this given modulus of Z square plus Z plus 1 can be written as Z plus 1 by 2 whole square plus 3 by 4. Now it is Z square plus 2 into 1 by 2 of Z is Z plus 1 by 4 plus 3 by 4 will be 1 only. Therefore, this can be written like this to get the sum of 2 complex numbers. Now this is one complex number, this is another complex number. But you know, mod of Z1 plus Z2 is less than or equal to mod Z1 plus mod Z2, which is one of the options here. Therefore, it can be taken as less than or equal to mod of Z1 plus Z plus 1 by 2 square, because complex number has square here, plus 3 by 4, which is, but this total is given as what? Mod of Z square plus Z plus 1 is 1. Hence, now this will be more than or equal to 1, because reading from right hand side. So this is more than or equal to this one, which is 1. Hence, mod of Z plus 1 by 2 whole square plus 3 by 4 is greater than or equal to 1. Which implies mod of Z plus 1 whole square greater than or equal to 1 by 2. So that modulus of this one will be greater than or equal to 1 by 2. Hence, option C is correct now. Regarding mod of Z plus 1 by 2 is greater than or equal to 1 by 2 is the right option. Option C is correct. And regarding option B and D, now you can take it again and expressing in the same way, but will be greater than or equal to difference of their individual moduli, because mod z1 minus mod z2 is less than or equal to mod of z1 plus z2. Otherwise, mod of z1 plus z2 is greater than or equal to difference of their moduli. Right. So, mod of z1 plus 1 by 2 whole square minus 3 by 4. Therefore, reading from right hand side, so this is less than or equal to 1. Less than or equal to 1. When modulus is less than or equal to 1, so that complex number can be taken minus 1 less than or equal to, so mod z square minus 3 by 4. This is modulus of z square, no? So it is a real number. Minus 3 by 4 is also a real number. So this real number will be in between minus 1 and plus 1. Right. Now what you will say? Adding 3 by 4 on both sides. Minus 1 by 4 is less than or equal to modulus of z square. Z plus 1 by 2 whole square less than or equal to 7 by 4. But you know modulus is always positive or 0. Therefore, you can deny this minus 1 by 4 and begin from 0. 0 less than or equal to this one. Again, because it is square of one positive number, it can be taken as 0 less than or equal to, of course, 0 less than or equal to mod of z plus 1 by 2 less than or equal to, here you can take it as 0 less than or equal to mod of z plus 1 by 2 less than or equal to root 7 by 2. Again, we are applying the same condition of difference of moduli. This can be taken as difference of mod of z1 minus 1 by 2. Difference of modulus of z minus 1 by 2, which is less than or equal to root 7 by 2. Of course, 0 also can be added here. Now, releasing this mod again for the real number under mod, you can take minus root 7 by 2 less than or equal to mod z minus 1 by 2 less than or equal to root 7 by 2. Now adding 1 by 2 on both sides, 1 minus root 7 by 2, 1 minus root 7 whole by 2 less than or equal to mod z less than or equal to 1 plus. But again mod z is one positive number, hence can be taken as 0 less than or equal to mod z less than or equal to 1 plus root 7 by 2, which is less than 2. Root 7 is less than 3 but more than 2. So when this is less than 3 plus 1 less than 4 by 2 less than 2. Therefore, this value is less than 2. So mod z will be less than 2 is the right answer here, friends. So mod z less than or equal to 2 is given, but less than 2 is satisfying. Hence, option B also can be taken as this. Now, like this, when mod z is less than or equal to 2 and set S, what is set S here? Set of all complex numbers z satisfying this one, then which of the following statements is correct? This mod z less than or equal to 2 means this is representing one region below the region inside the circle of radius root 2. Hence, there will be infinitely many complex numbers. Hence, S has exactly 4 elements is wrong, because there will be infinitely many complex numbers following this condition, because it is the region inside the circle with the center at origin and radius root 2. Therefore, there will be infinitely many points inside the circle of radius root 2. Hence, option D is not correct. And there exist infinitely many points, none. There exist infinitely many points is the correct option. Okay, right. Okay, friends. Now let us go for next question. Now this is the question number 10 given on properties of triangles. Let x, y, z be positive real numbers. Suppose x, y, and z are the lengths of the sides of a triangle opposite to its angles x, y, and z respectively. If tan x by 2 plus tan z by 2 is 2y by x plus y plus z, then which of the following statements is correct? Dear friends, I will consider this question on triangle ABC considering x equal to a, y equal to b, z equal to c, because we are so comfortable with the letters ABC, and we are so comfortable with the triangle ABC in applying the properties. Hence, let me consider in a triangle ABC here. Then it is given that tan a by 2 plus tan c by 2 equal to 2b by a plus b plus c. 2b by a plus b plus c, where a plus b plus c is 2s, can be taken as b by s. But what is tan a by 2, Nana? Tan a by 2 is actually s minus b into s minus c by s into s minus c. But in terms of delta can be taken as delta by s into s minus c. In terms of delta, because tan a by 2 actually under root of s minus b into s minus c by s into s minus c. So multiplying by s minus b and s minus c, s into s minus a, you can take this delta by s into s minus a. Similarly, tan c by 2 is delta by s into s minus c, is b by s. Now you can cancel s throughout the equation, which is delta by s minus a plus delta by s minus c equal to b. Now taking delta common and simplifying this one, just taking delta common will be 2s minus a minus c by s minus a into s minus c equal to b. But 2s minus a minus c will be what? B only. Delta into b equal to b, so that cancelling b on both sides, delta by s minus a into s minus c equal to 1. But what is delta? Actually, delta can be taken as root over s minus a, s minus b, s minus c. Cancelling one root over s minus a, s minus b. So s minus c, this can be taken as cot b by 2. This is the formula for cot b by 2. Right. So cot b by 2 equal to 1. So that b by 2 equal to pi by 4, then b equal to pi by 2. B by 2 equal to cot 45 degrees is 1. So b by 2 is 45, or pi by 4, then b equal to pi by 2. When b equal to pi by 2, triangle is one right angle triangle with the right angle at b. So that small b is the hypotenuse. Then a square plus c square equal to b square, my dear friends. A square plus c square equal to b square. Then what you can write? When b equal to 90 degrees. Now let us consider a by b plus c. A by b plus c for the remaining. So because b is 90 degrees, you can take a plus c equal to 90 degrees. So that a plus c equal to b. So that you can confirm whether x plus z equal to 2y. No. Why? Because x plus z is 90 degrees. 2y will be 180 degrees, because y is 90 degrees here. Y is uh, related to b here. Y is equal to b here. So this is not correct. So here x plus z. X plus z means a plus c here. A plus c is 90 degrees. So b is 90 degrees. So this is equal now. So this is regarding tan a by 2 equal to small a by b plus c. Now let us find a by b plus c to verify whether this is true or false. So let us go for a by b plus c, where a is sin a, b plus c is sin b plus sin c, because 2r will be cancelled on both numerator and denominator. So sin a by, but what is sin b plus sin c? Because b is 90 degrees, 1, sin b is 1, and sin c can be taken as cos a, because c equal to 90 minus a. So cos a. Sin a by 1 plus cos a. This is 2 sin a by 2 cos a by 2. This is 1, 2 cos square a by 2. Simplifying this, you will have tan a by 2. Therefore, tan a by 2 equal to a by b plus c is also correct. And here, this x square minus y square plus z square will be 0, but not zx. Therefore, option D is not correct. Dear friends, option B and C are correct in this question. Okay, I think this is also one simple question. Once you have uh, good command on the properties of triangles, you can very easily attempt this question. There is no much difficulty at the advanced level. Okay, now dear friends, let us go to the next question, number 11. Question number 11, so which is given on 3D lines. Okay, now you see this question number 11 given as, let L1, L2 be the following straight lines. L1 given as this, L2 given as this, but you can observe one thing here, numerators are same in both L1 and L2, x minus 1, y, z minus 1. Therefore, both the lines are passing through the same point 1, 0, 1. Just you please identify. Please observe that both the lines L1 and L2 are passing through the same point, means meeting at the same point. The point of intersection is 1, 0, 1. 1, 0, 1. Suppose the straight line L given like this lies in the plane containing L1 and L2, lies in the plane of L1 and L2, and passes through the point of intersection of L1 and L2. This is the line passing through the point of intersection of L1 and L2, right? If the line L bisects the acute angle between the lines L1 and L2, then which of the following statements is oblique R true is the question to you. Means that in a simple way, if L is the acute angle bisector, if L bisects the acute angle between the lines, means L is the acute angle bisector between L1 and L2, then there are the options on alpha, gamma and Km. So let us answer this. Now clearly DRs of L1 are, DRs of L1 and L2 can be taken as 1 minus 1 3 and minus 3 minus 1 1. Now see what is the dot product of these DRs, A1 A2 plus B1 B2 plus C1 C2. So with the same sign, if you go for A1 A2 plus B1 B2 plus C1 C2 means, which is 1 minus 3 plus 1 plus 3 is 1 greater than 0, means that vectors along these DRs, vectors with these DRs are at acute angle. Vectors at, in this direction having acute angle between them. Therefore, with the same DRs will have acute angle between them. And what is A1 square plus B1 square plus C1 square regarding line 1? It is 1 plus 1 plus 9, 11. A2 square plus B2 square plus C2 square regarding line 2, also 11. That means these two vectors are of same length. These two vectors, direction ratios are nothing but direction of vector along the line. And those vectors have been taken like this, which are of same length. In that case, the DRs of bisector of acute angle between the lines can be taken as, with the same signs, A1 B1 C1 plus A2 B2 C2. Actually, taking these as the adjacent sides of a parallelogram, addition of these two vectors will result in the direction of diagonal through that vertex. Therefore, DRs of bisector of angle between them, acute angle between them, will be taken by just adding these two because of dot product positive. Just adding these two, because of equal length also, because of equal length, A1 square plus B1 square plus C1 square and A2 square plus B2 square plus C2 square. Just adding these two, you will get the DRs of acute angle bisector, which are -2, 4. But you can cancel out the common factor, because any proportionality DRs can be taken. DRs can be taken with any proportionality, either multiplying by a common factor or dividing by a common factor. So you can get. So cancelling minus 2, it is 1, 1, minus 2 are DRs of acute angle bisector. Now you can write the equation of bisector as passing through their point of intersection. So this is the equation of acute angle bisector, x minus 1 by 1, y by 1, z minus 1 by minus 2, right? Suppose if it is equal to 1, if it is equal to 1, x, y, z can be taken like this. Because, see, this line L is given with minus 2 in the denominator and km in the denominators of x and y terms. Therefore, we should compare this equation with this equation. Now let us see, this line is also right having same DRs as the given, but in the numerator you have 1, no? Y minus 1 by 1 is there. Therefore, we should have the same coordinates of points of intersection. Same coordinates of points of intersection. Otherwise, we should have same point as the given line. Hence, I am taking 1 to get y coordinate 1. I am taking 1 to get y coordinate 1. Then x, y, z can be taken as 2, 1, minus 1. Now, this is one point on the bisector. Now, the vector equation of line can be taken as x minus 2 by 1, y minus 1 by 1, and z minus of minus 1, z plus 1 by minus 2 will be exactly same as x minus alpha by k, y minus 1 by k, y minus 1 by m, z minus gamma by minus 2. Now you can compare and get the values of alpha, gamma, k, m. Now, what are the options here? Asked for alpha minus gamma equal to 3. That is correct, because alpha is 2, gamma is minus 1. Alpha minus gamma is 3. And second option, k plus m equal to 2. Here k equal to 1, m equal to 1. So that k plus m equal to 2. But here alpha minus gamma not equal to 1 and k plus m not equal to 0. Hence A and B options are correct, my dear friends. So you have to read the question thoroughly and look at the options, what we have to get from the data, and appropriately we have to take the steps. Now let us go to next question of this section 2, which is 12th question. So here you are given by which of the following inequalities is oblique are true. Here option A is given as integral 0 to 1 x cos x dx greater than or equal to 3 by 8, 0 to 1 x sin x dx greater than or equal to 3 by 10, 0 to 1 x square cos x dx greater than or equal to 1 by 2, 0 to 1 x square sin x dx greater than or equal to 2 by 9. Means that integral 0 to 1 means sum of the ordinates of curve x cos x, x sin x under the same limits 0 to 1, x cos x, x sin x, x square cos x, x square sin x have to be compared with the respective values given in the options. Okay, friends. Generally, in this case, we will go for, of course, integration of x cos x by parts of integration. But here, going for x square cos x may be somewhat difficult, will be even lengthy also. For that, so we should have some idea of utilizing sequences for sin x and cos x. So that will be more helpful, will be more simple than going for normal integration by using by parts rule. Now here you know that sin x is x minus x cube by 3 factorial, x power 5 by 5 factorial minus x power 7 by 7 factorial and so on, and cos x is 1 minus x square by 2 factorial, and like that we can use none. Let us rewrite these two. What you can take. Okay, just a minute. am expressing this one. Sin x and cos x. I am taking the values of sin x and cos x in reverse order. Okay. So we know that cos x is 1 minus x square by 2 factorial plus x power 4 by 4 factorial minus x power 6 by 6 factorial, like that. And sin x is with this expansion, with this sequence. Okay. Now you see, as the power of x and denominator increases, here power of x is increasing in the interval 0 to 1, so that value will be decreasing. As the value decreasing and the denominator increasing in the denominator, the value of the terms decreases. This x square by 2 factorial is more than x power 4 by 4 factorial, because x power 4 is less than x square and 4 factorial will be more than 2 factorial. So that value of the denominator in the interval, value of the terms in the interval 0 to 1 will be decreasing. Therefore, you can neglect some of the terms in these sequences. So 0 to 1, x cos x will be greater than or equal to. Why? Because I am using only 2 terms of this sequence. We are denying this one means, you are minimizing this value. You are minimizing means this x cos x will be more than that. Hence, integral 0 to 1 x cos x will be greater than or equal to 0 to 1 x into only 2 terms of this one. We are denying some positive value of this one. We are denying means we are subtracting from cos x. We are subtracting from cos x, so that cos x will be more than this one, right? With the same inequality, so just for simple integration, so you will get it as equal to 3 by 8. Hence, 0 to 1 x cos x will be greater than or equal to 3 by 8 is the correct option, greater than or equal to 3 by 8. So this is the correct option, dear friends. Option A is correct. And 0 to 1 x sin x with the same will be greater than or equal to x minus x cube by 3 factorial. You are denying some positive value, so that just going for simple integration, you will get the value 3 by 10. So that is also greater than or equal to 3 by 10 is the correct inequality. Now this one, integral 0 to 1 x square cos x. In the same way, you are considering only 2 values of cos x, 2 terms of cos x. So denying some positive value will be greater than or equal to this, and will be greater than or equal to 7 by 30. But what is given here? 7 by 30 is smaller than 1 by 2. Why? Because 7 by 14 only will be 1 by 2. No? So 7 by 30 will be smaller than 1 by 2. But here it is greater than or equal to 1 by 2. Hence C is not correct. C is not correct. Greater than or equal to 1 by 2 we can't say. Yeah, of course, 7 by 30, even this is greater than or equal to this one means greater than or equal to 1 by 2 can be taken. Sorry, greater than or equal to 1 by 2 can be taken because it is greater than or equal to 7 by 30. That is also true. And coming to D, so this is greater than or equal to, even considering only 2 terms, will be taken as what? This is greater than or equal to 2 by 9. But what is the value given here in option this? Yes, greater than or equal to 2 by 9. So D is also correct number. Hence, all the 4 options are correct for this question. All the 4 options are correct for this question number 12. Hence, all are true. Okay. Now let us write the key here. Yeah. So all the 4 options A, B and C, D are correct now. Okay, my dear friends, this is about part 2 of this paper 1 discussion. And dear friends, I hope everyone has utilized this session and benefited from this session. So dear friends, Let us wait for the next session on third part of paper 1, and I'll come with the part 3 as soon as possible. Till then, have a nice time, and please subscribe and share this channel to the needed, so that will be helpful for many aspirants. Have a nice time.